Now, recent news, if you haven't heard, an arrest warrant from ICC pierces Putin's aura of impunity. Story by Mark Landler, New York Times, London. The International Criminal Court accused the Russian President Vladimir V. Putin of war crimes and issued a warrant for his arrest on Friday. A highly symbolic step that deepened his isolation and punctured the aura of impunity that has surrounded him since he ordered troops into Ukraine a year ago. The court cited Mr. Putin's responsibility for the abduction and deportation of Ukrainian children, thousands of whom have been sent to Russia since the invasion. It also issued a warrant for Russia's Commissioner of Children's Rights, Maria Lvova-Belova, the public face of the Kremlin-sponsored program that transfers the children out of Ukraine. Both Russians, the court said, bore responsibility for the war crime of unlawful deportation of population and that of unlawful transfer of populations from occupied areas of Ukraine to the Russian Federation. The warrants also shed a light on one of the most harrowing. It would be impossible to carry out such a criminal operation without the order of the top leader of the terrorist state, President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine said in a video statement, in which he welcomed Mr. Putin's arrest warrant as the beginning of a historical responsibility. They go on. Russian troops have killed tens of thousands of innocent civilians and ravaged infrastructure and artillery strikes as Ukraine says this week. The New York Times reported that the court intended to open 2 cases in the Russian invasion, according to officials with knowledge of the plans. The second was expected to focus on Russia's attacks on infrastructure. Moreover, he said Russia cannot have international sanctions lifted without complying with the court's warrants. All right, so there you have it, y'all. My whole thing is we go into Iraq.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it? I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
You heard the video yourself. That's Marilyn Albright saying it was worth it. Just straight up killed over 500,000 kids. No war crimes, no accusations made by the ICC to the US of A. Now, I don't care. Bring Putin in. I'm not here. If he did that, bring him in. But what I'm trying to say is whoever killed 500,000 Iraq children, maybe an investigation should be open. I'm not saying don't go after Putin, whatever. If you believe that, try the guy. Go after him if you want. My whole thing is somebody in America was responsible for killing 500,000 Iraq children. Shouldn't a little investigation be launched by the ICC for whoever was responsible for that? How come Putin gets charged, but the person doesn't get charged that is directly responsible for 500,000 Iraq children? Investigation over here, no investigation over there. So basically what the article was saying, because Russia invaded Afghanistan, Putin is responsible for the collapse of infrastructure, creating orphans, and then taking them orphan children back to Russia. He has been charged with a war crime because he invaded a country, hurt its infrastructure. That's one thing that was one of the warrants out for his arrest. And then the other one was because he transferred children from Ukraine, took them back to Russia. You know, my whole thing is, what about us? What about us? Now, before you sit there, because everybody wants to think, are against this war, you are for Russia. No, we're not for Russia, all right? We're not for Russia. That's just fake news when news media and whoever claims that most people in America, if you're against this war over in Ukraine, you're for Russia. No, we're not for Russia. And the same people that want to claim that the people that aren't for this war are for Russia are the same people giving billions of dollars to Ukraine and not even going to East Palestine looking after its own citizens. So let's get that straight, all right? We're SE Wolverines when it's the end of the day. We're against Russia all day long, but don't sit here and just because we're American citizens and don't want nuclear bombs, the thermonuclear weapons, y'all, dropping on our heads, and we don't like this war and we don't like supporting this war, that we're forcing Russia. Because that's just fake news all over the place. And they ain't putting that out as fake news. Same people claiming that are the same people giving our taxpayers hard-earned money away to some other country, not even for America. So you're for that country, claiming just because we don't like the war, we're for Russia. Well, you're for them. What's up with that? How come that's not investigated? And another thing I would say, we transferred power back to the Taliban. How come we took children, dropped them off in Europe? People are clinging to the airplanes. Y'all remember? People were clinging to the airplanes, trying to escape. People falling out the sky, trying to be. We transferred women, children, men, didn't even vet them, nothing. We transferred them. We transferred an occupied zone back to numerous countries when we gave power back to the Taliban. How come the ICC isn't investigating that? See, I don't like people poking the bear, trying to blame someone when we turn around and we do the same thing. There's investigation over here, no investigation over there. And I don't think that's right. And I think you're just going to keep poking the bear until he gets ready to bite and starts launching those thermonuclear weapons, y'all. Another thing he got caught with a warrant for, or a warrant was issued for his arrest, was attacked on infrastructure. Now, you can't tell me we didn't hurt infrastructure when we went into Iraq and we didn't hurt infrastructure when we went into Afghanistan. Because we hurt infrastructure, guaranteed. And on top of that, how come you're not investigating the Nord Stream infrastructure? How come warrants aren't put out for the person responsible for this? No investigation. Talk about some infrastructure. How come we don't hear about that infrastructure? See, it sounds to me like people like to play favorites and people like to poke at people. That's what it sounds like to me. What investigations are being opened to what is going on over there? It could have been Ukrainian soldiers making the kids with no home. What if they launched something at the Russians and hit an apartment? Said the Russians did it. Shouldn't you at least launch some investigations to see what direct responsibilities go to who? They made the children orphaned over there? Where's the evidence? Where is it brought out to the people? Why can't we hear what the evidence is? We heard you had it, but let us see direct evidence of the one who's misplacing the kids over there in some Ukraine. Children are moving all over the place, y'all. Children are moving all over the place now. So the moral of the story is, boys and girls, you can go ahead and keep poking the Russian bear. And one day that bear is going to bite you back. If you keep poking the bear, it's going to bite you back one day, y'all. It's going to keep on. It's going to bite you back. And you're going to need serious medical attention when that Russian bear bites you back if you keep on poking at it. Keep on poking at it. So one way to poke at it, put out an arrest warrant for Putin. That's one way to poke the bear, y'all. Another way to poke the bear, y'all, is Slovakia will send entire fleet of MiG-29 jets to Ukraine. Send jets to Ukraine. You send those weapons, you keep on paying for a war against Russia, y'all. And every time you do that, that's poking them. That's poking them right in their nose. Bloomberg, story by Daniel Hornak. Slovakia will send its entire fleet of Soviet-era fighter jets to Ukraine to boost its defense against Russian forces, government officials said. That's another way to poke the bear, y'all. So, y'all, know that war is on the horizon. You are seeing your whole world collapse right before your eyes. And you best get your stuff together, my friend. They want to throw up this woke stuff. I'm not sitting here telling you not to recognize the woke stuff. But don't keep on trying to recognize the woke stuff and get caught up in their world. So don't spend too much time in woke world without looking over your shoulder. To Jaws, look over your shoulder at Jason trying to creep up on you, y'all. That's all I'm trying to say. So there you have it, y'all. Y'all need to get your supplies. Don't spend too much of your time with that wokeness. It's right in front of your face. I know that's the thing that's right in front of your face and you don't know what's going on, y'all. Behind the scenes, bears are being poked every day. The wokeness is right in front of your face. You haven't seen war in America because it's always been over in another country. They're not letting up, y'all. They keep on poking that bear. Instead of 500 million Iraq children perishing from this earth, it might be your child perishing from the earth if these people just keep on poking that bear. And in the meantime, they running that dragon right into that bear, y'all. Don't get caught up too much with the wokeness, especially if it's knocking you off your path, y'all. The first thing everybody wants to say is, how can I show other people? What can I do? The first thing you can do, y'all, is to make sure you're prepared. Because if you're not prepared, there will be no speaking trying to wake up that wokeness. So make sure we get our priorities in order first, y'all. So don't spend too much time in a woke world. Now, 5 months ago, I said they're going to collapse everything around you on the Nord Stream, Uscreen video I made 5 months ago. And then they're going to make you beg for the digital dollar, y'all. They're going to beg for that digital dollar. They're going to make you need it. And you're going to want it. You look over to your kids and they're starving to death. You're going to beg for that digital dollar. You're going to want it. And you're going to need it. And then the next time you jump online and talk about that wokeness that you so despise, but that same digital dollar that you need, you don't get, you don't eat. Then you go to sleep.
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
This your boy Isaac with SE Wolverine. Please hit that like button. I appreciate it. Helps us get out to the world a little bit more. Stay strong and get prepared out there, y'all. Good night, America. SE Wolverine!